today in the NFC East after being released by the Cowboys. The NFL Network reports the Giants are not interested in Dez. Shannon, what do you make of this?
I'm not surprised. I think the Giants realize they have enough volatile personality in their locker room. They can ill afford to bring on another personality that can be deemed somewhat difficult to coach, difficult to work with in situations. But, Skip, Dez has to realize, Skip, if you're starving, you can't be picky about what you're going to eat. Skip, is a true story. I saw a guy, homeless guy. He had a sign that says, need money for food. So I went to the store, Skip. I bought him a chicken box. He said, I don't want no damn chicken box. Okay, don't worry about it. I took it with me. You said you wanted money for food, but that's not what he wanted the money for. I gave him. You can't be choosy, Skip. Dez, you can't be choosy. You don't.
For drink.
Yeah, exactly. But with Dez's situation, Skip, you can't be choosy. Oh, I want the Giants.
Yeah.
You better take. If Cleveland calls you, if whomever calls you, you and your agent better take that call and jump on a plane and go visit. Yeah. You're not in a position of power. You're in a position of weakness because, first of all, the first and second wave of free agency has passed.
Yep.
Now, we're 3 days away. On Thursday, they're going to have the NFL draft. It's hard for me to believe, Skip, he will get signed this week.
Yeah. Because
they'll fill out their board. Now, maybe if they don't get the wide receiver or wide receivers they want, maybe they give Dez a call. But Dez is in no position to say, I want to play for here or I want to play over there. You better play where they want you to play because right now, you don't have any friends, bro.
No.
You talking about, well, I want to play. I want them to be my friends. Nah, they don't want to play with you right now. So you better go play with the guys that want to play with you.
Remember when Jordy Nelson got cut by the Packers? It was pretty surprising, maybe shocking.
Yeah.
Remember what happened the same day? Story broke. Raiders interested, asking Jordy to fly to Oakland for a visit, which he did the next day.
And signed.
And he signed within 2 days, almost 3. It took, but he signed with the Raiders, who were hot to trot. Man. Yeah. We want Jordy. Jordy Nelson is almost 4 years older than Bez Bryant is. But do I understand that? Yeah.
You said something interesting, though, Skip. You said when he got cut, news broke that Raiders were interested. Bez Bryant get cut. Dez is interested. You see the difference?
Yeah.
The teams are interested in one.
I want to go to the
That's not how it's supposed to work.
So news broke, I believe it was last Friday, that Brandon Marshall failed his physical, and he's cut by the New York Football Giants. There's a big old gaping hole in their receiver core for a big, strong, possession-type receiver.
Yep.
And they are reportedly not interested in Bez Bryant.
Oh.
What would that tell you?
Oh.
Interesting.
I guess he won't be going there, huh?
So back to a point you have made repeatedly over the last couple of months on this show. Jerry Jones did not do Dez any favors chronologically through the offseason because he could have just let him go a long time ago and let him go into the heart and the hype of free agency, right? When people are overreacting, they're a little desperate with their money.
Yes.
Would it have helped? Don't know. Maybe.
Right.
But that's the same Jerry who could not let go of Bez Bryant that he coddled and he spoiled and he deluded often into thinking, it's okay, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay, right? And that was the mentality that Dez has taken into the real world.
Right.
I'm Bez Bryant. Jerry always told me I was the greatest thing to come along. You know, like I'm sure Jerry at some point said, you know, you could be better than Michael Irvin was. I'm sure he told him that because he loved Dez.
Yes.
And Dez got deluded into thinking, I'm that guy. I'm 2014 Dez. When you know and I know, body started to break down.
Yeah.
Didn't work hard enough on creating a bigger route tree, learning how to actually play the position.
Correct.
Where you can play it with your head as well as your physical talent.
Right.
Nope, didn't have any of that. So all of a sudden, he's on the hottest seat he's ever been on because if somebody does sign him, it's going to be a make good kind of a deal where you're going to have to go to camp.
It's a make it deal.
Yeah.
You got to show us that, it's not going to be no deal. We're going to give you just $8 million.
Nope.
No, they're going to give you a deal, and then it's going to be incentive laden because they want you to prove it. I believe moving forward, Skip, he's on what they call prove it deals. We'll have you, but you're going to prove that you can play here.
Yeah.
Those days of Because they look at what Dez was. Dez was in that system for his entire career. So he had to learn no new terminology.
Yep.
What happens if he goes somewhere and he doesn't get to hear that terminology? Uh-oh. Now what? And see, Dez is finding out the hard way.
Yep.
He allowed people to convince him, Dez, you're still Dez. And Dez believes that he's still Dez. Can Dez play? Sure, I believe Dez can play. Do I think he's a number one? I don't believe he's close to that. And unfortunately, no one around him says, Dez, okay, I know where you might want to go. But at this time, there's not an opening there. Skip, I might want to work at a different place. I might want to work at Apple or Google. But if they ain't hiring, what I'm supposed to do? Just sit right here and these bills still occurring. They still coming in.
Yeah.
So, Dez, what you going to do? Now, you going to sit back there and talk about where you, I want to get back at the Cowboys. I want to stay in the NFC East.
Yeah.
Well, what if those teams in the NFC East don't want Bez Bryant? Then what? What's plan B? What's plan C?
Or D, or E, or F. I think whatever plan it is, in July, Dez is going to have to go someplace foreign to him, and he's going to have to prove to a new coaching staff who's going to be skeptical of him that he can stay healthy, that he can figure out and comprehend a whole new offense.
Correct.
And that he will not crumble under the pressure to catch the football, because he did lead the league in drops. And now that his career is starting to teeter a little bit, can you rise and shine and catch the ball naturally and cleanly every time? Because the pressure is going to mount.
Yeah.
Right?
Skip, I have a big problem with the way Dallas did this. Skip, if you're not going to even offer him a chance to take a pay cut, you could have done this in February instead of April.
Yeah.
I said, okay, and I said they're boxing him in, Skip, because the free agency is going to be over and they're going to say, okay, Dez, play for this or we got to let you go. But Dez is saying they didn't say play for this or else. They said else. So they didn't even give him an opportunity. 8 weeks, 9 weeks after the fact, when Stephen Jones said, we're going to have this conversation sooner than later. That's my only problem. I have no problem.
I still think Jerry was deluding himself. It's all going to be okay.
It's going to
go away. And finally, Stephen and probably a host of other coaches finally got through to Jerry and said, it's just bad business. You know, you're going to stunt the growth of your young quarterback if you throw this back into the huddle time and time again. So I remember what happened to Terrell Owens. Remember when Pete Carroll wanted him up in Seattle? This was his last stop.
Right.
And he went up there in the preseason. He made some big catches, and he dropped some balls.
Yes.
And I was pretty surprised because I thought he'd done well enough to at least make the team. And they got to, I'm not sure it was the last cut. I think it was second to last cut.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll just said, sorry, we love you, but can't use you.
Right.
Wow. And that was, I'm pretty sure that was the end of the line.
Yeah, that was it. Because if you think about it, Skip, there's a good chance the Cowboys probably going to go wide receiver in the first round.
I think so.
And if you go wide receiver in the first round and you want him to be that guy, you want him to be a Michael Irvin, you want him to be what Dez was originally, number one. How can he be that if he's on that roster?
I don't know.
Because eventually, remember when Atlanta took Julio Jones? They had Roddy White.
They did.
Roddy didn't cause any problem, but then all of a sudden Julio started catching the ball, and Roddy like, well, you know, I want to participate. They said, you know what, we're going to let you participate. You can go participate with someone else.
That is true.
And that's what happens.
Yeah.
So in order for Dak to be, they realize, Skip, in order for Dak to be who he needs to be, you can't have that dominating of a voice in his ear constantly, especially when he's not getting the ball. That's not good.
Dez was on a different wavelength with Tony Romo, and Dak is not Tony Romo.
Right.
So.
Not Tony Romo. And by the way, I'm not sure it's a great look to post video of working out with Odell after all that Odell's been through in this offseason. Remember, Johnny Manziel often works out with Odell.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that other coaches say, oh,
yeah,
that's a reason
it's
to bring in
it's very petty too. I mean, he's still
it is.
harping on the Cowboys. So,
But I see Odell posting videos of him running the route tree. I see Odell posting videos of him running the ladder. I mean, them battling ropes, that's fine and good. Yeah, they cut your arms up, you get you in shape, but I want to see some routes. Let me see you run that speed out. Let me see if you can hit 10 and roll to 12.
we'll see. Did the refs cost the Pacers last night? We'll discuss that with Jim Jackson next.